This is Apple's first, and right now, only flagship headphone, the Airpods Max. It's also just about the most expensive consumer headphone you can buy today, by quite a bit actually. But is it as great as its price though? Like, what does it have exactly that makes it so special? Just how good is the experience of actually using the Airpods Max? Well, we're about to find out exactly that. Exactly how it is to use and own the Airpods Max. From the design, like the unique stuff that only the Airpods Max has, the good, the bad, and even the irrelevant. So also how it looks with the colors and the aesthetics you could achieve with them, to how they feel in your hands with the rare metal headphone design that we don't see very often, and all the good and bad that comes with it, to comfort and how it feels in your head and against your ears. I'm talking everywhere too, like even when laying down in the bed on your side, to how it performs with transparency, and more importantly, how it performs with noise canceling, even to the nice and interesting extra features they have, to the features they don't have, funny enough, and to the things that they're not so good at as well, that might honestly make you wish the AirPods Max was built differently, especially when it comes to upkeep and maintenance long term. Well, depending on who you are and just how you plan to use the AirPods Max. And of course, to the most important part of any pair of headphones that has ever been made from the beginning of time, and also the part that we're going to be starting with right now. Probably already know what I'm talking about, and yep, you're right. We're going to get started with sound quality. Now, I know a lot of people have high expectations for the sound quality from the AirPods Max, and I know a bunch of different stuff has been said already, but yeah, they sound very good. The highs sound good, the mids sound good, the bass sounds good too. Everything just sounds good, especially the vocals. They don't sound mind-blowing though, like I think some people think they do. Like I wouldn't say they're hands down the best sounding consumer headphones I've listened to. Instead, I'll say they're around that level. They're around the level of the best consumer headphones out there. To be more specific, I'll say they sound similar to the Sony flagship headphones, like the XM4s and the XM3s. But the main sound difference between the AirPods Max and the Sony headphones is that the Sony headphones have a noticeable amount more bass out the box. Sony's definitely more bass heavy, and they definitely give you more bass than normal when listening to songs or whatever. With the AirPods Max, there's a decent amount less bass, although it is more accurate, and the bass still sounds good, and it isn't lacking or anything, even if you're listening to hip hop or whatever songs, right? I'll say the AirPods Max still gives you more bass than what would be considered accurate, like with completely balanced and flat audiophile headphones. But all in all, it does sound pretty balanced, and it sounds pretty good in general. Not exceptionally good though, because it still sounds like the quality of sound you get from the drivers in the AirPods Max matches the quality of the drivers from other flagship consumer headphones, but that's nothing to complain about. They still sound very, very good. If you're expecting them to be better than that though, then you might be a little disappointed. Now there's something a little different and unique with the AirPods Max though, that's a little hard to explain. It's just a little hard to explain. Basically, the AirPods Max can play different variations of sounds. Like the drivers in the AirPods Max can okay, it's hard to explain. So let's say we're talking about bass, for example. You know, other headphones, you'd be hearing like or like boom, 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 or boom, boom, boom. With the AirPods Max, since it can play different variations, you hear like the boom. You see that you hear like, yeah, it's hard to explain. You hear extra things. I'll see if I can find you an example and show you that way. But it's like there are different drivers in the AirPods Max, or there's one driver, or no matter how many amount of drivers are in there, it's just good at playing different variations of sounds. Instead of just the boom, boom, boom from the bass, you hear the boom, to the next. Yeah, like I said, it's hard to explain, especially with the bass. It works across the board though, so it also works for the mids and the highs as well. And it's actually much easier to hear it in the mids and the highs, like with the vocals, especially with female voices. I found that's easiest to hear it with. So let's say we listen to Doja Cat, for example. She has a pretty high voice. I'm not gonna play the song because copyright, whatever, but it goes, it's been a long time since you, something. Okay, thank you guys. But yeah, you see, you could just hear like layers to her voice somewhat, and you can hear like multiple Doja Cats, a little bit. It's just very, very subtle, okay? And it's just pretty cool in general. Okay, now I know I just said it's pretty cool, and I just spent a lot of time and I went to some extreme measures to explain this, but you should know it's really not that big a deal. You know, I'm just trying to explain it to you, but it's really not that big a deal. It's pretty subtle, and you might not even notice it, honestly. Also, it doesn't mean you're gonna like it. One of my friends listened to the AirPods Max. He said it sounded very futuristic. He couldn't place his finger on what it was. And my other friend heard it, and he said, like, it sounds good, but it's kind of annoying hearing the sound. That's how he explained it. But it was just like the treble sound of some girl singing. it was just kind of layered. That's how he heard it. Thought it was a little annoying. Well, basically, just know sound quality on the AirPods Max is very good. It's on the level of just about the rest of the flagship consumer headphones out there. It's on that level. Plus, it has this extra airy, layered audio thing that we've talked about. But it's not that big a deal there. Just know the AirPods Max are on the level of the best sounding consumer headphones when it comes to sound quality. But what level are they on though when it comes to the best noise canceling headphones out there? Well, I'll just keep this part short and simple. The AirPods Max are the best headphones in the world when it comes to noise canceling. Or at least the best headphones I've tested when it comes to noise canceling. They cancel a great amount of noise, more than any pair of headphones I've ever used. And that's it really. They're just the best at noise canceling. It's really as simple as that. Now what about the mode that's opposite of noise canceling? How do they perform when it comes to transparency? Well, it's literally deja vu, because long story short, the AirPods Max has the best transparency mode on any pair of headphones out there. They're so good at transparency that it can actually compete against the best transparency device I've tested, the AirPods Pro. And that means they can actually compete against your actual ears too. No joke. Now, they would lose against your actual ears though, if you really put them against each other. Because when you have them on with the transparency mode, things won't sound exactly like they would with your actual ears. It'll be very, very close, like almost perfect even. But if you listen really, really close, you hear that with the AirPods Max on, things will sound just like they do with your ears, but there'll be a tiny bit of an electronic effect. Kind of like a very subtle electronic hiss, just clouding all the audio. It's very, 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 very subtle. Like you barely be able to hear it. And in more quiet situations, it'll basically be impossible to hear it. But it sounds like the microphones that it's using to execute the transparency effect is doing like an almost perfect job, like almost perfect, but it slipped up just a tiny bit, so you'll be able to hear that there's something just a little off when compared to your actual ears. All in all though, it's very impressive how close to perfect transparency mode is on the AirPods Max. In fact, I might as well just say it's perfect, because it basically is. And it's definitely kilometers better than any other pair of headphones that I've used before. Like number 2 isn't close at all. Now one more thing about the transparency mode though. Actually 2 things. First, you know the quick transparency mode feature some headphones like the Sony flagships have, where they'll be in noise canceling mode and playing music, and you can just put your hand over an ear cup and then boom, music is basically gone and you'll be in transparency mode. Yeah, I'm talking about that feature. Well, with the AirPods Max, you don't have that feature. If your music's playing and you're in noise canceling mode, there's no feature to quickly stop your music and put you in conversation mode. Or rather, I should say that there's no actual feature like that. But there kinda is a feature like that. Actually, it basically has a feature just like that. Now, I don't think Apple intended it, but it is there. See, with your AirPods Max, Apple gives you 2 buttons. One for playing and pausing your music, as well as double tapping to go to the next song, and triple tapping to go to the previous song. These controls with the buttons work very well, by the way. But we'll talk more about the buttons and the design of the AirPods Max later. Now, this button also doubles up as a volume knob, kind of like with the Apple Watch. I was kind of disappointed with the AirPods Max's knob though, just because with the Apple Watch, you get vibrational feedback for each individual knob click. With the AirPods Max, there's no vibration. Well, obviously there's no vibration. Like, I don't know what I was expecting. I didn't think my head was going to vibrate or anything. But with the AirPods Max, it does make a nice knob turning, clicking sound. It's hard to hear when music's playing very loudly though. Anyways, the only other button you have is the button that changes the modes from noise canceling to transparency to noise canceling again, and etc. You can also mess with this in settings, by the way. But about that quick conversation shortcut though, well, when you're listening to music in noise canceling mode, if you want to start a conversation, then you can just press both buttons at the same time, and your music will pause and you'll be in transparency mode, aka you'll be in conversation mode. It's pretty nice, and it's just as easy as any built-in quick conversation feature. And you can tap both buttons at the same time again to go back to your music with noise canceling easily as well. Pretty nice. Okay, now, the last thing about transparency. This one's a little negative. So like some other headphones or earbuds, the AirPods Max has inbuilt protection against really loud noises, and it'll basically turn off transparency for the individual headphone while the loud sound is being made, just so it protects your hearing and your ears. Now, it does do a good job when it comes to this. Like, I haven't had a situation where it let a loud sound through and it hurt my ears or anything, but I found that at times it'll just activate randomly and I won't be able to hear stuff so well in one ear, and then it'll just go back to normal. It could be on either ear, it could be on both ears, like who knows. All I know is it happens when it's not supposed to, and it's a little annoying. Now, this isn't much of a big deal when you actually use it though, because it doesn't happen all the time, and it's definitely not a common thing. But it's not uncommon though, so it will happen every now and then, and it's not like a very, very rare thing that happens. All in all, transparency is great though. Like even with the slightly annoying loudness protection thingy, like the AirPods Max are still the best of the best headphones when it comes to transparency. Like it's not even close at all. But what about the microphones that help with the loudness detection thingy though? How do they sound themselves? Like when using them for phone calls, voice recordings, or whatever. How do they sound? Well, I'll read you an excerpt from one of my favorite books so you can hear it for yourself, okay? The tall old trees above them, their winter fire supplied, when autumn's flaming sunsets from their red leaves had died. The rippling brook, their water, from far off mountains brought, and prattled off their summits in icy statues wrought. For them, the squirrels hoarded their nuts in hollow trees, and pounds of sweet as honey were made them by the bees. To gather these together was work enough to do. Little Red Riding Hood thought so, and so, no doubt, would you. Alright guys, that's enough story time for today. Let me know what you think about the microphones in the comment section below. If they were good, if they were bad, if they're just average to you. And since we're done talking about microphones now though, let's move on and talk about the design of the AirPods Max themselves. Now, I'm sure this isn't the first time you're seeing the AirPods Max, but first off, they're pretty unique. I mean, they haven't completely messed with the over-ear headphone design that we're used to, but it's pretty clear they don't look like other over-ear headphones. The look of the AirPods Max is different. It has a pretty unique design. Like the top isn't completely solid. I mean, there's a solid part, but most of it is fabric, and it's soft and it's pliable, but it doesn't really give. Like I've only had the AirPods Max for a month now, but it doesn't feel like the material is gonna have any slack anytime soon. As for the headphone body itself, well, the all-metal design is pretty unique as well. First off, it really does make the AirPods Max feel heavy. Well, not heavy, of course. Like you're not gonna struggle to carry it. Well, at least I hope so, for your sake. But it's definitely heavier than you think. Like you really notice it the first time you hold it. That's about the first thing you really notice when you get the AirPods Max out of the box. Actually, no, if we're being completely accurate, when you get the AirPods Max brand new, like still in the box and everything, the first thing you notice is the metal design itself. It definitely looks premium. It feels premium too. I think the AirPods Max was crafted very, very well. It's a very fine piece of machinery. But with that being said, I definitely think it looks ugly on camera. Like uglier, at least, than it looks in person. At least that was the case for me. I definitely didn't want to get this color. With the AirPods Max, Apple lets you choose from several colors if you'd like. And the color I wanted was black. I think the black one easily looks the best. But it was out of stock at the time though, so I just got the silver one. And I really wasn't trying to get a silver one. It doesn't look that pretty to me. But ever since I got it in person, the silver colorway has really grown on me over time. Now, color isn't all you can choose from though when it comes to customization. Well, it kind of is. What I mean is that you can also choose to mix and match the colors with the ear cups themselves. Yes, you probably have heard the AirPods Max has removable and interchangeable ear cups. They come off and go back on using magnets. And just in case you're worried about the way it works, well, stop being worried, okay? You can trust it. They'll stay in securely and won't fall out when you use them in the real world. Even though it's easy to take them off whenever you want, like pretty easily, the magnets are still definitely more than strong enough for real world use. Actually, there are activities that will cause them to fall out, but we'll talk about that later. Right now, let's talk about another unique part of the AirPods design. I'm talking right here. The AirPods Max's case. Okay, now I don't want to spend too much time on this. So long story short, with other headphones, I only use them with cases when I'm probably going somewhere and I just need them to feel safe. Other than that, I find I never really need to use them. Now, if there were any headphones that I would use the case with, like the most, well, that would easily be the AirPods Max. Notice how I have to make sure I drag it around like this and not in another way when the metal will be making contact with the ground and a bunch of stuff. I always have to keep the metal from making contact with a bunch of stuff so it doesn't mess up the design, you know? My point is, I need to protect the AirPods Max because of its design. But then you get the case out and then you put it into the case and look. Let's say I'm about to head out and I have to take my backpack with me and I have a bunch of stuff in it, like wires, pencils, pens, just a bunch of stuff in it, right? Now, what do you think I'll feel safer doing? Throwing my Sony XM3s with its case in the bag, or throwing my AirPods Max with its case in the bag? Now, please don't try to answer this question. It's not even close. I don't feel safe with the AirPods Max's case. I feel safer compared to like when they're completely naked, but I do not feel safe. You know, I actually like that it's stylish. I know a lot of people have given hate to Apple for how the AirPods Max's case looks, and they've made a bunch of jokes by now. And yeah, it kind of does look like a bra. But in all seriousness, I really like when companies try to do innovative things. Like, no matter what it is, I just like the spirit of it. Now, the thing with this case is, I just don't feel like it does enough of what a case needs to do. I just don't think like these spots should be open. Like, what if something in my backpack scratches the metal? I think this case is just ignoring what a normal case should be like, and it's trying to be stylish instead. And like, that's all it's trying to do. And I don't know, I just don't think it pulls it off. I mean, it doesn't look crazy good to me. And then the cutouts aren't exactly exact, you know? It's not gonna always be in the right place, or the charging ports or whatever. It just doesn't seem very like Apple. Now, a move that is very like Apple though is the fact that there is no power button on the Airpods Max. Like we talked about before, there are only 2 buttons on the Airpods Max. One to mess with volume, and also to play or pause your music, or fast forward or whatever. And the other one to switch from noise canceling to transparency modes, and vice versa. Like, it's hard to hear when the music's playing though. Hold on. Yeah, you hear? But yeah, like I was saying, the Airpods Max will always be powered on unless one of 2 things happens. 1, the battery dies, or 2, you put it in the case. So Apple tries to make you rely on the case if you ever want to actually turn the AirPods off. Apple's just a funny company, you know? Now, if you're worried, or you're thinking the battery of the Airpods Max was just drain and drain and drain and it's just horrible, well, that's actually not how it works in the real world. But we'll talk about that later. Actually, it could be a little bit of a problem. Now, but we'll get into that very soon. Actually, it could be a major problem. But guys, relax, don't worry. We'll talk about it very soon, okay? Damn. Right now, let's get into comfort, fit, and just seamlessness in general. When you put on the Airpods Max for the first time, they'll feel pretty comfortable. But it's not like the same comfort you get from other headphones. It's not like a loose, relaxed, comfortable feel, you know? The way the Airpods Max fits is more tight. Like, you can feel the clamping force just pushing against the sides of your head more. But because of the fabric, it's like it's pushing against your heads, but with like a comfortable material. I've also found that they're more comfortable than most other headphones when laying down in the bed. With most of the headphones, like, your ear will be in direct contact with like the inside of the headphones, so it kind of hurts your head and your neck even, the way it's just built. But with the Airpods Max, it's not like that at all. Your ears won't actually make contact with the inside of the headphones, and the way the headphones are just shaped, they won't really hurt your neck as much as other headphones. You're gonna need to adjust it so it's not touching your cheekbone though, because that would really hurt. But when you do that, you can lay your side without any discomfort. Now, if you lay on your right side though, like where the volume control is, the movements you make on your pillow could adjust your volume. Actually, probably will adjust your volume at some point and like reduce it. So you're gonna have to adjust it back again to have it how it was before. With AirPods Max, I'd say it's best to stay on your left side if you want to be laying down. Now, you probably don't want to be laying down for too long though, because even though they're more comfortable than most of the headphones while laying down, after a while, they're gonna start to feel uncomfortable. Even if you're not laying down and just standing up or sitting or whatever, the AirPods Max just starts to feel a little uncomfortable. Like, it's a little weird because it's not like your ears are actually touching the sides of the headphones. Like, they don't even do that when you lay down on the side. The headphones aren't that shallow. Like, I'm not sure what it is exactly, but I think the discomfort has to do with the edges of the air cups, because I'll just adjust the AirPods Max a bit and it'll immediately feel more comfortable. But honestly, if I've been wearing it for a while, after that stage, it just isn't going to be a very comfortable experience. Like, something about the design of the AirPods Max isn't the best for comfort when you're using them for a long time. Even with the fabric material that feels pretty soft when you put it on for the first time, with a tight clamping force, it starts to feel like it's compressed and there's not a lot of cushioning and everything. I don't know, the AirPods Max just stops feeling so comfortable after a while. Also, another thing I don't like is that the AirPods Max isn't so nice for working out. Well, first of all, you probably don't want to be working out with expensive headphones like these anyways, right? But still, they're not nice for several reasons. First, they're definitely not suited for quicker type movements like cardio or whatever. If you're gonna do these, the AirPods Max are probably gonna fall off your ears. And I'd say that's the only time the removable ear cups are gonna come off without your consent. And it's also very possible you're gonna damage the metal and everything. So yeah, working out is just not the best thing to do with the AirPods Max. But I don't know if I would even say that's the worst part, because the second thing I don't like when working out with the AirPods Max is that the fabric material with the air cups absorb a lot of sweat. I mean, while you're working out, you might not notice it too much because you're sweating anyways. But if you go take a shower and then you dry up and then you try to use the AirPods Max right after, you're gonna feel sweaty, wet headphones at the side of your head. It's really not nice. And also, since it is fabric, if you get sweat on them a lot or just anything else that's not so clean, it's gonna start to get really, really dirty, especially with this silver color. That's why I really wanted the black as well. I think the black will probably hide all of this better. But soon, if you're not careful, your AirPods Max could start to look a lot less pretty and pretty dirty. It's not that bad though, because one, you don't have to work out with them in the first place, and I recommend that you don't. But even if you do this and then the air cups get dirty, you could still go wash them. I don't know if you should put it in a washing machine or anything, just because there's also the magnets on the air cups themselves, but you could just wash them with a toothbrush or just your hands and some soap. It's really not a big deal. And I found that you can get basically all the dirt out. I don't know how long it's going to hold up though if you keep doing this time and time and time again. And that's one of the downsides with the design of the AirPods Max, because the fabric plus the pretty metal is cool and all, but it definitely makes the AirPods Max more high maintenance. At least definitely more than with other headphones. Like, I've never had to wash any headphones I've used before. So yeah, you're gonna have to be more careful and take good care of your AirPods Max. Cause you know the case isn't gonna do too much to protect it. So you're gonna have to do it yourself. All in all though, the experience of using the AirPods Max is pretty seamless. Actually, it's one of the most seamless headphones I've ever used. But at the same time, it's also one of the most high maintenance headphones I've used and I've had to watch out for. That plus the fact that it's pretty expensive creates a pretty interesting combo. So the AirPods Max is pretty seamless, like extremely seamless when it comes to doing standard headphone things, but it also has some stuff you have to deal with that you've never had to deal with other pairs of headphones. So yes, apart from discomfort after using them for a while, which surprised me by the way, they're the most seamless headphones I've used, like one of the most seamless headphones I've used ever, but at the same time, they're one of the most high maintenance headphones that I've used as well. Okay, so that's that for seamlessness. Now, let's get into all the extra features the AirPods Max has. Now this first one isn't a big deal like at all. I don't know if we should even call it an extra feature, but you can have your music playing while the AirPods Max is plugged in and charging. Yeah, it's really not that big a deal at all, but there aren't a lot of headphones that actually do this. I thought that was pretty cool. Now something else that's also pretty cool, I don't know if you should call it an extra feature though, but it's something I really like, is just how fast and precise the volume knob is compared to the other volume changing systems on other headphones. Basically, with the AirPods Max, you can get the volume from low to high to low to high, like very quickly, as fast as you want. You can't do it any faster with almost any other pair of headphones. It's pretty cool. Now a cooler feature though, and an actual extra feature this time, is one that comes into play when you're watching movies. Now of course I'm talking about spatial audio. Now I've already made a video about spatial audio with the AirPods Pros, and it works basically the same way with the AirPods Max, but at times I found that the AirPods Max actually has some head tracking issues, and I have to like restart the movie or close the app and open it up again. So I found spatial audio on the AirPods Max is a little bit more buggy than it should be, at least for me, but as soon as I close the application and bring it back, everything's back to normal. So for the most part, it's not really much of a problem, but it's just weird that it's doing that in the first place. Regardless though, it still sounds pretty cool, and it sounds like whatever you're listening to has more depth to it, and you're truly listening to sound coming from different directions all around you. Spatial audio is one of the best extra features on the AirPods Max. Probably the best, to be honest. Now, even though head tracking has some issues, head detection is great though. And this time I mean taking the headphones off and having it pause the music for you because it recognizes that you took the headphones off, and then you put it back on and it play the music again because it recognizes that too. Yeah, that whole feature works very well. It makes use of the sensors on the inside of the air cups of the AirPods Max, and they're very good. Rather, they're very consistent. Because I found some other headphones that have sensors as well, but they're kind of stupid. The AirPods Max is pretty smart. Like, you're not gonna fool it even if you just cover the sensors. It knows when it's on your head. Like, I mean, it really knows. Because if you have it in your head and you just take one ear cup a little too far away, it's gonna pause your music for you then too. I mean, you can have it like this though, on the side of your face if you want. I know I like to do that with headphones sometimes. It's not gonna pause when you do that because the sensor will still be covered. But if you go much farther than that, then the music will be paused. By the way, if you didn't know, this head detection thing only works with Apple devices though. So if you're using Android or something else, it's not gonna work for you, sorry. But this head detection thing is very good. It actually even affects things when your music is paused. Because as soon as the sensor detects that the ear cup isn't on your ears, it's going to take the specific ear cup itself off noise cancelling or even transparency mode, and it'll be in this low power mode where it sucks a very small amount of battery, and it basically might as well have been turned off. And you can really tell it's doing this individually for each ear cup because you can hear it have to turn on the noise cancelling again, like 0.3 seconds after it's back in your ears properly. So yeah, I don't know if head detection is an extra feature, but it's definitely very good. Okay, since we're here, let's talk about where the head detection arguably matters the most. I mean, when it comes to battery life. Now you should know, in the time I used the AirPods Max, I never really put it in the case, like never ever basically. See, if there was a big problem with not having a power button and not being able to turn it off like we thought, I wanted to experience that problem for myself. And if it happened, I'll talk about it with you guys. But the thing is, I never really experienced that though. Battery life was pretty good. They last a very long time. Like, they pass the threshold for the amount of time you can use them for one session. Apple claims they last about 20 hours, and that's probably about right. I find that when I use them intensely, I'll have to charge them like every other day or so. So they're not the best headphones I've tested when it comes to battery life, but they're pretty good. Now you might be wondering how that is, considering it doesn't have a power button and you can't turn it off ever. Well, that's the head detection thing I was talking about. Well, sort of. With the head detection feature and the low power idle feature that Apple has put into the AirPods Max, when they work together, the AirPods Max lasts a very long time. When it detects it's not being used, and it's pretty smart about detecting that by the way, it just goes into a low power state, a very low power state. And basically, the AirPods Max will barely drop a percentage. I've left it on by itself, not in the case, overnight many times, and I've woken up the next morning and I've seen it at the same percentage, maybe 1 or 2 less. But that's mostly with the Apple iPad though, with automatic head detection feature working. Remember, it doesn't work exactly the same way with Android. But I've used it with Android as well, and in my experience, it has gone into the low power state, and it doesn't seem to be dropping percentages there as well. But we're not done talking about this though, because this does cause some problems. We'll talk about it very soon. But yeah, overall, there are no issues with battery life on the AirPods Max, and battery life is very, very good in general. A good amount past the threshold for where you have to worry about charging it every day. Now, there is an issue I have with charging though, and honestly, this is pretty annoying. But the AirPods Max charges way too slow. Way too slow. Well, way too slow when you're using USB-A to Lightning though, because USB-C to Lightning is decently fast, and that is the cable they include in the box and everything, but it's not as fast as other flagship headphones as well. And other flagship headphones, even with USB-A to like USB-C, they don't charge so slowly. I'm telling you, it takes the AirPods Max like hours to charge from empty to full with USB-A to Lightning. With USB-C to Lightning, it takes just about a little over an hour to go from empty to full. So you're gonna wanna always charge it with USB-C to Lightning. But then again, you can use it at the same time you're charging it though, so maybe the slow charging isn't bad specifically for the AirPods Max, but I personally don't have the patience for that. Now, some other things I don't have the patience for are the not so good things with the AirPods Max. Okay, so first, whenever something metal, like a chain or necklace for instance, whenever something like that comes in contact with the metal on the air cups in the AirPods Max, you're gonna really, really hear it. Like, it really doesn't sound so good. It also doesn't matter if it's in transparency mode or noise canceling mode or whatever. You're gonna hear the not so quiet sound of jewelry or whatever metal you let get in contact with the AirPods Max's metal. You're gonna hear that screeching sound right outside your ears. Now, it's not a big deal because this probably wouldn't be happening too much, but it did happen to me naturally on the bed with my necklace on. And if it happens to you, you're gonna think it's annoying too, trust me. But yeah, it's really not a big deal. Now, something else that's not really a big deal, or could be a very, very big deal, in principle only though, like not in actuality at all, is something I discovered when I was going to go play Call of Duty the other day. So yeah, I don't know how I didn't know this, and I don't know what I expected exactly, but these headphones don't have a headphone jack. Yeah, this definitely feels like trolling. Apple definitely has a weird sense of humor. Yeah, some other not so good things are that you can't check the battery life on Android. You normally should be able to get an app for this though, but I tried some apps I used to use for Android with the AirPod Pros, and those apps didn't work with the AirPods Max. So I don't know about that, but it's Android. There probably is an app out there, and if there isn't, there probably will be soon. So it's not too big a deal, but if you're using Android, it's gonna be kind of annoying. Now, the biggest deal and one of the worst things that can happen to you with the AirPods Max has to do with the battery and the charging situation. Online, many people have complained about their battery draining overnight or whenever they're not using it and the AirPods Maxes are just staying there on the table or something. It looks like there are a lot of AirPod Maxes out there that don't do the head detection thing so well, and unless you have them in the case, they're always going to stay ready to be used. And that's going to have them killing a lot of battery. Now, a lot of people just reset the AirPods Maxes and it starts working again. And a lot of people don't even have this problem. Like, I don't have this problem as well. But just keep this in mind. This is what I was talking about earlier. You know how I said the battery was good and everything, and it not having a power button is not really a big deal? Well, you can ignore basically all of that if you run into this problem that a lot of people are having. But then again, I didn't run into this problem, and I'm 80% sure Apple will fix it for you if this is happening to your pair of AirPods Maxes. So I don't think this is too big a deal in the grand scheme of things. Okay, other than that, for not so good things, I guess there's the sound leakage problem. Now, I wouldn't say the AirPods Max actually has a sound leakage problem. Like, it's not that big a deal. But it does leak out more sound than other headphones do, just with the way it's designed, with the fabric and everything. It lets out more sound than other headphones in its category. So if you're a really private person or you like to watch questionable stuff in public and it gives you a thrill or whatever, like, I'm not judging you, but the AirPods Max might be too risky, let's say. But yeah, apart from this, there's not much more not to like with the AirPods Max. I mean, some other features also work with Apple devices only, like spatial audio, so I guess that's there as well. But if you're using Apple devices, you really have nothing to worry about. And even with Android devices, the experience of using the AirPods Max is still going to be pretty good. It's just not going to be as complete. But with that being said, I think the AirPods Max is just the most complete pair of headphones out right now. They really don't mess up when it comes to any part of the experience of using them. Well, actually, no. The design is really nice, but it is pretty high maintenance. I should have said that's something else that's not so good with them. The fact that they're so high maintenance and you have to wash them and take care of them. And you can't work out with them or treat them like other cheaper headphones. And that's because they're not cheaper headphones, you know? They're just about the most expensive consumer pair of headphones out there. So it is a shame you can't do some things with them that you can do with other pairs of headphones. But at the same time, they do look a lot better than other pairs of headphones. Well, actually, no, they're built a lot better than other pairs of headphones. You might not really like the looks. I know I didn't like it at first, even though it's grown on me. But yeah, it's the most complete, but most expensive, but most high maintenance pair of headphones out there. And that's it for today, guys. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like these. Like, you better not be watching all these videos without being subscribed. That would just make you a hater, you know. I don't make the rules, okay? Don't blame you. Anyways, turn on notifications so you don't miss other videos. Let me know what you think about the AirPods Max in the comment section below, or anything else you want to let me know. And thank you for watching. See you next time. Okay. Let's see how we all go. All right. Let's see. I mean, definitely better. And these two are so close, you know. Yeah, come on, guys. It's not for this video. It's not for this video. Stop.